above a certain level, and that level was till judge, engineer, police officers, etc. Only these were the posts that were allowed for the Indian men's, okay, because all the higher posts it was reserved for the British. Now, next point, see, it is very important. I have highlighted the whole sentence because it is very important. Satyendra Nath Tagore was the first Indian to enter civil services in 1863, followed by S.N. Banerjee, R.C. Dutt, and Bihari Lal Gupta in 1869. So, we have done the topic the civil services. Now, next topic is the army. We'll see how the army was administrated at that time. The British Army in India consisted largely of Indian soldiers called sepoys. Sepoys, the name sepoys came by the term sipahi. Okay, it is a Hindi term. It is a Hindi word. After that word, they were called as sepoys. Okay, the officers, however, were British. These sepoys were paid well than soldiers of Indian rulers. There were Indian rulers also that time, and the most of the Indians, they had joined their own native rulers, Indian rulers, but there were few men who have joined British. Okay, these sepoys were basically mercenaries. That is, they would serve anyone who paid them well. Now, who is mercenaries? Mercenary are people who are interested only in the money. If they get money, if they are paid well, they can even fight against their own country. They can fight against even their own motherland. Okay, they are called mercenaries. Okay, now the police. We'll see how the police were administrated at that time. When new territories were annexed, law and order were to be maintained within them. For this, the British instituted the police. Lord Cornwallis, the Governor General, reorganized the police system. Each district was placed under a superintendent of police. The districts were further divided into thanas. Now listen carefully. You need to know these terms. Okay. The districts were further divided into thanas, and each thana was headed by daroga. Now see, each district were divided into thanas, and each thana was headed by daroga. The towns were under the charge of kotwals, who charged the towns, kotwals, and the village policemen came to be called as the chowkidar. But the police was seen by the local people as a corrupt and the harasser of the poor. In the police service too, Indians could not rise above a certain level as higher posts were reserved for British. So this is the end of the chapter. Okay, now I like to do a quick revision. Okay, as I've already mentioned before starting today's class, that we have studied the Regulating Act of 1773. So what was the Regulating Act of 1773? One Governor General was appointed, okay, in Calcutta, and he was to supervise the governors of Madras and Bombay. So Bombay, he had four council, okay, four council of one of chief justice and three judges. Okay, however, this act was not effective because the governors of Madras and Bombay, they didn't seek approvals from them. Okay, they started taking their own decisions without consulting the Governor General of Calcutta. Now, after this, Pitts in the Act of 1784, it was a remedy to the problems of Regulating Act of 1773, and it was named as Pitts in the Act because William Pitt was the Prime Minister of England at that time. So, what happened during this act was the Governor General Council was reduced to 3 members. Earlier, it was 4.